We all know the story of Eve. A girl gets tempted by a snake, eats an apple, and because it tasted good, she gives it to Adam too. Well, total wife material. After eating the fruit, God kicked them out of paradise.
Failing chemistry! You're out of the house. What? You're out of the house!
And they had to find jobs to get something to eat. According to science, there's a grain of truth to this story. Maybe not the part about the apple, but Eve really did exist. We don't call her the biblical Eve, though. We call her Mitochondrial Eve. Wait, don't run away. This isn't a boring biology lesson. Mitochondria are actually pretty cool. We all know the meme that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and that is absolutely true. But the more important thing is that we inherit our mitochondria only from our mothers. When fertilization happens, long story short, the woman provides everything, and the sperm just shows up to a finished setup. The father's genetic material enters a fully furnished cell. It's like your mom built a house, bought a car, and your dad just brought a potted plant for decoration, and they lived happily ever after. The DNA from the mom and dad mixes equally in the cell's main nucleus. But it's different from mitochondrial DNA. Since the mother provides the entire egg cell, we inherit our mitochondria 100% from her. The maternal line includes the mother and all her children, but it's only passed on by her daughters. The paternal line, on the other hand, is passed on by the father's sons, who inherit his Y chromosome. It always makes me laugh when I see the tiny Y chromosome from the dad next to the huge X chromosome from the mom. It looks so unimpressive, yet it's been starting wars for thousands of years. Anyway, back to the topic. When we talk about the maternal line, we run into a fun little math problem. We all have one mom, 2 grandmas, 4 great-grandmas, 8 great-great-grandmas. With every generation you go back, the number of your direct female ancestors doubles. Based on pure math, going back about 1,400 years, you should have around 120 billion direct great-grandmas. But there haven't even been that many people in the entire history of human evolution. How is that possible? I'll leave you to figure out that riddle. I don't want to get into the details, if you know what I mean. The answer to the mystery of one shared mother for all living humans can be found right in the mitochondria, because it has its own DNA. Mitochondria are pretty independent. They divide on their own and control their metabolism, though the cell nucleus is still the big boss. It works like this. The cell nucleus is kind of like Amazon. You can order home decor, appliances, and furniture from it, but you can't buy the actual walls of the house. You have to build the walls on site, and that's exactly what mitochondrial DNA does. It's about 190,000 times smaller than the DNA in the nucleus, and it's shaped like a little ring. It holds the blueprints for proteins that have to be made right there on the spot. The whole mitochondrial reactor that makes our energy is built from about 90 proteins. Most of them come from the nucleus, but exactly 13 of them are made locally inside the mitochondria. This whole system exists just so the final step looks exactly like this. I love watching it. This is the synthesis of ATP, the energy carrier made from our food that powers every single muscle you have. This protein structure works exactly like a tiny machine. And since it's way older than any human-made machine, you could say our machines actually look like these ancient structures. So we have our mitochondrial DNA controlling all these reactions, the absolute nightmare of biology students everywhere that keep us alive. Interestingly, there are also parts of mtDNA that don't code for any proteins. Over the course of evolution, tiny changes happen there. Since mitochondria don't reproduce sexually, there's no regular genetic mixing. All these differences happened just because of random mutations. These mutations stuck around because they happened in neutral spots that didn't mess up how the cell works. It's like a car. If the engine breaks, the car won't start. But if you just change the paint color, it still drives perfectly fine. And thanks to these harmless mutations, scientists were able to do some detective work. Researchers took samples of mitochondrial DNA from 147 people all over the world, from different populations in Africa, Europe, Asia, the Americas, Australia, and New Guinea. Then they compared the differences in the mutations in their genetic code. This was a crucial math step. We know that mutations in mtDNA happen rarely, but at a pretty steady rate, just like the ticking of a molecular clock. The more differences there are in the mitochondrial DNA between two people, the further back in time their common ancestor lived. Scientists compared these differences and used computers to draw a massive family tree of humanity. This computer algorithm led the scientists to two huge conclusions. All the branches led back to a single trunk, one original sequence belonging to a woman the media quickly named Mitochondrial Eve. The tree showed that native African populations have the most variety in their mtDNA mutations. It means their DNA had the most time to collect these changes, making the African line the oldest. All the non-African lines, like European or Asian ones, were just young twigs growing off that main African trunk. Because of this, we know with 100% certainty that humans come from Africa. It might seem like we found the very first woman on Earth, but Mitochondrial Eve wasn't it. She also wasn't the only woman alive back then. The other women around her had kids too, but their female lines eventually died out. Maybe they only had sons who don't pass on mitochondrial DNA, or their descendants just didn't have kids. Only this one specific line survived thousands of generations to connect all of us today. Eve probably wasn't the most beautiful or the smartest woman around. Her daughters and granddaughters were just lucky enough to have healthy daughters of their own to keep the genetic relay race going. Her life probably wasn't easy. She was born about 200,000 years ago in wild Africa, and her bloodline is still going strong today. You are her direct descendant. About 8,000 generations have passed since she lived, making her your 8,000 times great-grandmother. I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to tell you the story of your amazing ancient ancestor, who is the reason you're able to watch this today. If you noticed any mistakes or have questions, leave a comment. I tried to explain some pretty complex biology in a simple way, so if I missed anything, let me know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.